Democratic Party continues to navigate a storm of internal tensions and political recalibrations as it eyes a stronger footing ahead of the 2027 elections. In recent days, the PDP National Working Committee clarified two key issues that have generated buzz within and outside the party. First, that much anticipated National Executive Committee meeting has not been cancelled or postponed. And second, that Senator Samuel Ayawu has not been reinstated as acting national chairman Umar Damagun suggested. But what do these clarifications mean for the internal dynamics of the PDP? Are we witnessing signs of order being restored, or is this the calm before another storm? Joining us tonight to unpack these developments is the chieftain of the PDP, Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse. Dr. Pearse is a public affairs analyst, convener, Reset Lagos PDP, National Presidential Campaign Council. Good evening to you, Dr. Pearse. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Member of the Presidential
Yes.
Council of 2023.
2023. All right. So that responsibility is obviously over. Now, let's talk about this latest development within your party. The accusation is that Umar Damagun has overturned the resolution of the 99th National Executive Committee meeting, which scheduled the 100th meeting for this Monday. What is in the letter before me, signed by 11 ESCO members, indicates that he took this decision alone. But he said he has the backing of the PDP governors. The letter also says that the NEC meeting was neither cancelled or postponed. What exactly transpired? I want you to shed more light on this. Do you think this clarification was necessary?
I think that the acting national chairman has done what he has done, either through mischief or through misstep. I'm not sure which. But evidently something is wrong. This whole problem came about, this whole issue of whether we have the NEC meeting on June 30th or not, came about because Damagun sent a letter to NEC, which was signed by himself alone and by the regulations of NEC and the party, I believe. Is that
the norm? Was he supposed to sign the letter alone?
No. This is it. By the regulation of the NEC and by the PDP, it should have been signed by himself, the national chairman, and the secretary. Okay. Now, he signed it by himself, and then NEC said, you have not actually notified us because the letter is inappropriately signed. Now, the PDP has an acting secretary. So why did this chairman not have the acting secretary, the acting national secretary, Mr. Koshedo, to co-sign? That is beyond me. That's where the problem started. Secondly, the meeting that was scheduled for June 30th, by the May 27th meeting, the 99th meeting, was not scheduled as a meeting that NEC had to be in. Recollect that NEC was not at the 99th NEC meeting because according to the Constitution, and the National Publicity Secretary clarified it for me before I came here, because I was wondering what is going on. So what he said is that whenever we have a meeting or gathering whereby we are going to have elections, or if the party is talking about a merger with another party, such meetings would have to have the INEC present so that they can create a report. Okay. If you have an election and INEC is not there, it is invalid because somebody may say, I won, and the other person did not win. So INEC would have to say, we were there, this is how it went down. That was not scheduled. Such a thing was not scheduled for that meeting. Okay. By the Constitution, two organs of the party have regular meetings, internal meetings. The National Working Committee, 2 meetings a month. The NEC, the National Executive Committee meetings, 1 in a quarter, 2 in a quarter. So those meetings are not the business of INEC. Okay. So the chairman made an error That's why I said it was an error, but there was no need for him to tell INEC to come to that meeting. And that is why the 11 that said we're going to have the meeting understand that INEC had no business with that meeting.
All right, I get that. Thank you for that background story. But now we can confirm that there are two factions within the party. Governor Makinde's camp, and that camp has Governor Peter Mba, Doyediri, Ademola Adeleke, Dada Lawal, 11 NWC members who signed that letter, and several party chieftains. And this camp is insisting that the NEC meeting must hold on the 30th of June. They're also opposed to Ayawu's return as National Secretary. The other camp is Wike's camp. Am I correct?
Well, this is the way the media has termed it.
Okay, so...
and I will tell you there's no Wike camp. You know why? The national chairman and the chairman of the Reconciliation Committee, yeah, and the governor, Bala, who was there, seated, all of them are saying the only reason why this issue of the June 30th meeting should not hold, one, is because they are afraid that if we hold that meeting without INEC being there, it may be nullified. That's all. The problem with National Secretary, all of them have signed off months ago that Ayawu is no longer the secretary.
All the PDP governors?
All of them.
All right, but what about the governor Caleb Mothwang, Kefa Sagbu, Amadou Fintiri, Bala Mohammed? All of those persons are on whose side?
Well, the
information we have, I do apologize, Dr. Pearse, the information we have is that that camp is pushing for Ayawu's return or reinstatement and a postponement of the NEC meeting.
Because if those people are doing that, it's not because they want Wike to have his way. It's not because they want Ayawu back. It is because they are afraid that if they don't follow that route, the meetings will be disqualified and we will not even have our national convention when we would elect a substantive, a substantive national chairman, because we have contravened INEC rules. To avoid that is why they're taking the position they're taking. I don't agree with it. Evidently, Governor Makinde and so many members of the National Working Committee, 11 out of 20, are not in agreement. Therefore, you understand, there is confusion in the party, not a crisis. Nobody is saying that they want, what word did the national chairman use? He said it's a bitter pill. He's doing it because he feels that he doesn't want Ayawu, but he has to bring him back so that to save the party. That's what he said.
So if that is the situation, because I was going to go there, it says this decision is bitter is a bitter pill or hard pill to swallow, but this is in the interest of the party. Shouldn't every other person align with that interest?
They should, if that is the situation, if that is the case. What the others are saying is that it is not a problem. It is not an issue.
When you say the others,
that
you're
is the
referring
ones.
to Makinde's,
They call them, I don't like to say this group or that group. But the 11 and the people who are opposed to what Damagun is saying is the approach of Damagun. They oppose. They also want the party to thrive. Why would they go against the party? They want the party. But they are saying that there is no need to be afraid of INEC. There is no need to be afraid of the Wike and co who are trying to destabilize the party, because it's not going to happen. What they're saying is that the June 30th meeting will hold because INEC doesn't have to be there. The letter that the national chairman sent to INEC was totally unnecessary. That is the point that they are making. And also, don't forget, we had a NEC meeting. NEC meetings are not supposed to be attended by INEC. It is only when if that NEC meeting, for instance, was going to have an election at that meeting, or they're going to talk about a merger, or they're going to talk about the dissolution of the party, then INEC has to be there. That is the two issues, the two arguments going on in the party. There is no crisis. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
There's no crisis. There is confusion, which has been created by the national chairman, I must confess, because there was no need for him to sign a letter by himself when we have a secretary in place. The NEC brought in all the organs of the party, the BOT, the National Committee, the NEC, the PDI, all of us brought in. We agreed that while we are waiting to have a substantive national secretary, which we will have when we have our convention, we will now have an acting. The deputy national secretary is Koshedo. Is it not automatic? Does it not make sense? Is it not common sense that if the secretary is not available for some reason, the deputy national secretary can act, and Koshedo is there. The national chairman made the error. Notice what the INEC chairman said to them.
You called it an error, Dr. Pearse. Some members of the party are saying this was intentional. Well, on the part of the acting national chairman.
I refuse to believe that the national chairman of our party wants to sabotage the party.
All right.
Because he said himself that all he's trying to do is to make sure that INEC does not disqualify us and prevent us from having our national
Right. And thank you for talking about INEC, because I wanted to ask you about the role of INEC in all of this, because there are also some members of your party who are accusing INEC of collaborating with some members of your party or some leaders of your party to sabotage the party. But Bauchi State Governor is talking about an expanded national caucus meeting rather, in place of a NEC meeting. Is everyone okay with that?
Well, I don't know why that would be a problem. The NEC meeting we hold, and the expanded caucus we hold, maybe at another time, I don't know. But INEC said, notice what the INEC chairman told them. It's your fault, PDP. First you said, Anyanwu is your secretary. Then when you got rid of him, you said, Koshedo is his secretary. Now you come to us without a secretary, based on the letter you wrote. So it is the confusion that has been created. INEC may be taking advantage of the confusion. Wike and co, who we know are trying to destabilize the party, may be taking advantage of that confusion. But notice also that even Wike didn't know what to do anymore. He said the chairman shouldn't call Anyanwu back.
And accused him of poor leadership.
Yes. It's confusion. It is no. I always said, I've been watching the national chairman. I saw what he did in Rivers State. And I attribute it to, I wouldn't say ignorance, I would say cowardice. You know, because the party said, the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly who had defected to APC, whom Wike wants to come back to PDP, Pearse said they cannot come back to PDP. The national chairman started by saying they should come back to PDP. Why? Because he felt that these are our members. Why should they be allowed to just go away? Since they say they want to come back to the party, let them come back. But other people were afraid that if they come back to the party, their purpose, as orchestrated by Wike, is to impeach Fubara. You understand me? So this was what is going on in the party. So I don't see so much as intrigue to destabilize. I see the national chairman as being weak, cowardly, sometimes confused. But to say that because he has been beneficiary of largesse from Wike, he wants to sabotage the party. No, I don't believe that.
But he says this is all in the interest of, the survival of the party, which is fair enough. I believe.
Exactly.
Now, since this conversation or this crisis or confusion, as you've put it, is still about Anyanwu versus Sunday Udeokoye, Let me play the devil's advocate, Dr. Pearse. If you put Senator Yawo here and you put Sunday Okoye here, based on experience, he's been in that position since 2011. He was a member of the State Assembly, local government chairman, Secretary Algon. Based on political clout, popularity, especially with how the PDP is gradually losing relevance, don't you think a Samuel Anyanwu is better projected as National Secretary of the party, of the PDP, over Sunday Okoye, who is a former, who is a former PDP National Youth Leader? Don't you think that it does the PDP a lot of good to have him as the National Secretary, especially ahead of 2027?
Well, you know, in politics, what is most important is trust. You know, anybody can be National Secretary. After all, some people like Wike came as basically assistant, PA to Amici, became this, became that. You know, you rise through the ranks. People can be anything. Trust. The reason why the whole membership, I can tell you that 80% of PDP members across board throughout this country do not want Anyanwu back. 90% of the organs of the party, the BOT, the National Working Committee, the National Executive Committee, which is made up of everybody, former governor, former ambassador, former president, former vice president, in the NEC, none of them want Anyanwu back. You know why? Because Anyanwu is perceived as an agent of Wike and the APC. Is a double agent within the party. That is the perception.
Okay.
And so it doesn't matter whether he has 10 PhDs or whether he's been governor before. And Anyanwu, look, he went to Imo State to contest for governor. Under very bad circumstances. He didn't tidy up his office before he left. When he got to Imo State, he destabilized the people. Half of the executive in Imo State left PDP because of him. So, and he failed woefully in that election, in spite of Wike's support and all the support he got. So therefore, if you're talking about qualification, this is why nobody trusts him and nobody wants him. You know why they want to do Okoye now? The Southeast Caucus of the party have said, all their leaders have come together and said, they are the ones that said, Anyanwu must go. Especially because of the way he performed when he was in Imo. They didn't like it. So they say now there's an opening. They were the ones that recommended Udo Okoye. You understand me? So we are happy with Udo Okoye in spite of the fact that it doesn't have as big name as possible. Look at the Wike is a member of a party, former governor, former this, the man who funded this and funded that. We don't want him in the party because he's a saboteur. I mean, you can't be in this party and be sabotaging us and say, because you were a big man.
Word
so
against,
we don't want you there.
Against his. But, I mean, if 11 out of 20 NWC members are saying this NEC meeting must hold on Monday, how significant is this meeting in the current political climate for PDP? Are there pressing internal issues that must be addressed?
This June 30th meeting is supposed to address the issue of the secretary. In other words, all the organs have signed off on Udo Okoye. Now, at that meeting, the NEC, the highest body, next to the convention is the highest, next to that is the NEC. Because the NEC constitutes of all these people I've told you, former governor, former president, and so on. Now, they will now ratify that issue of the National Secretary in preparation for the August convention. So the June 30th meeting is critical. And that is why the national chairman got afraid and said, this critical meeting, INEC had better be there, not realizing that it is not necessary.
Is the 2027 general election part of the agenda?
No, it's a process. We got to have a national secretary in place, right? Otherwise, we will not even have a candidate. We will not be able to conduct our national convention for 2027. You understand me? Now, apart from that, at that meeting, they're also going to talk about the August convention. They're going to ratify all the officers that will conduct that convention at that meeting. You understand me? So it is critical for us to have that meeting. And it is not a meeting for jamboree. It is the NEC, the highest body of the party, that is going to have that meeting and is going to hold anyway.
All right, we'll wait and see. But Dr. Pearse, what kind of lesson, or what do you think young members of the party are taking away from this intractable crisis? This crisis has been on before 2023. If the PDP cannot put its house in order, what message are you sending to Nigerians? Look,
as we stand now, it's an internal issue.
It affects Nigerians.
What affects Nigeria is the bad governance of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his administration.
It affects Nigerians.
That
Nigerians
is what is killing Nigeria. The hunger in Nigeria.
Can you hold on, Dr. Pearse?
The hunger in Nigeria has nothing to do with PDP not putting his house in order.
That's a different issue. We're not talking about
the economy that is collapsing.
Dr. Pearse, we're not talking about governance. We're talking about your party. Nigerians are worried about the fate of opposition parties in Nigeria. Nigerians are looking for an opposition party that will put the ruling party on its toes. So what message is this, the leaders of the party, older members of the party, sending to younger members of the party?
This is the issue. If you want us not to have crisis, and you want to be stable, tell Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Wike to keep away from sabotaging our party, okay? Number one.
You do not have an evidence.
No, I don't have an evidence.
What some Nigerians have said is that the PDP has been weakened by some greedy members of the party. And so the only option or alternative for them is to blame the ruling party.
No. Well, Wike is a beautiful example, right? Obvious. He has said he's a member of our party, but he has said he's going to destroy the party.
He has said evidence, Dr.
No. That is in the media space. Everybody knows that. He has said he's working for Tinubu. You cannot work for Tinubu and not work against the PDP.
He's not working for Tinubu. He's working in the government.
No. He is appointed by the government.
And the PDP leaders gave him permission, according to him.
Okay, because we thought APC was going to have a unitary administration. That is, they're going to appoint, like Obasanjo did, appoint people from parties, but they appointed an individual. Fine. We thought they were going to work with us, so we gave them Wike. Now, Wike is appointed. What we're saying is not his work as the FCT minister. We're talking about his politics, whereby he said himself that he's going to work for Tinubu for 2027. That is the issue.
So the PDP should expel him.
Well.
Why is that hard to do?
Well, let us handle Wike the way we want. For now, we have already expelled him. Listen.
All right, Dr.
Wike, whether you expel him or not, he is going to continue to do what... You can't stop him from talking. Can you stop him? He has money to call press conference every time. The people's money, by the way. Now,
so you cannot confirm that, Dr.
Is it not the people's?
I don't want you to make
anybody in government, look. Anybody in government who is spending money the way he is spending money, it is the people's money.
You cannot confirm. Once again, you cannot confirm.
Is this his money is going to use?
You cannot confirm
Did President Bola Ahmed Tinubu buy a plane with his money?
You're talking about Minister Wike calling press conference.
All of them.
Have come from,
anybody in government.
Would have come from his personal purse.
Anybody,
that doesn't look like a big deal, Dr.
in
Pearse.
government who is spending the people's money, who is spending money lavishly, is spending our money.
It's okay to allege, Dr. Pearse, but on this program,
you must come with
evidence. So,
it's alleged.
But talking about the PDP, what would it cost the party to stage a united front, truthfully, before electionary campaign starts?
People are concerned because they're experiencing bad governance like never before. That is why people are concerned about PDP. I want to assure them that as we move on, it will be clear that PDP is organized. You see, PDP is a democratic party. We listen to all sorts of people. We don't have one leader who can dictate to everybody. If we had, we wouldn't be having this problem. But if we had, and we don't have this problem, you are sweeping issues under the carpet. This was happening in APC. When APC would explode, implode. Everybody will see, because you cannot have a dictatorship in a democracy. We're organized. If we did not have the May 27th NEC meeting, I would have been the first to tell you that we're in trouble.
All right.
Since we have that meeting,
and see, Dr. Pearse.
And if we have the June 30th meeting, we are ready to go.
Right. It's a developing
PDP
story, so we'll be here
ready
to monitor. But quickly before I let you go, Dr. Pearse, Lagos PDP, do you feel lonely, Dr. Pearse, now that the likes of Akim Amode and Olakpeno have joined the APC? Akim
Amode, the former publicity secretary
of the PDP. They've gone to the APC.
Yes. And who?
And Olakpeno, Chief Olakpeno.
Oh, former deputy
chairman.
Look, since 2019, when these people got elected, I think 2022, they have never been, not Akpeno's time is gone, it's not relevant, but the publicity secretary has not been seen, is not been involved with the party. He became Jandor's publicity secretary. Okay. And even then, you couldn't see him. He's always abroad.
It says Lagos PDP is a dead party.
Well, it's dead because he wants it to die. And he feels that living is so important that when he leaves PDP, PDP will die. Whereas now, in every of the 57 local government areas and LCDA, our people, party, our councillors are contesting. So if PDP is dead, we won't be involved. If PDP is dead, people who are talking about us all the time and try to sabotage us, they will not be so involved. Right. They are afraid of PDP because PDP is going to win in 2027 and form
Lagos,
a government.
Or the presidential election?
In presidential.
Okay.
In Lagos, we are going to, we had 5% for governor. Okay. No, we never had that before. We never had that before in Lagos State. And 6% for president. No, we may not win governor, but we will win enough in this state.
All right, Dr.
In 2027.
Thank you so much. Sadly, we're out of time, but I'm sure we'll continue this conversation some other time. Thank you so much. Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse is a public affairs analyst, convener, Reset Lagos PDP, member, National Presidential Campaign Council 2023. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you very much. We'll take a break now, and we'll be back with more stories. Please stay with us.